north, stings the corner. You know it's coming. You still can't stop it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Lacrosse Rundown. It's Charlotte North. It's ESPN's Jay Alter. Happy Veterans Day to everybody out there, and thank you to anyone who is currently serving or has served. Unbelievable what you guys are doing. Truly heroes, honestly, but love celebrating all the veterans today. And what better way to bring the lacrosse community together than the Lacrosse Rundown at 8 o'clock on Tuesday night. Jay, how are you in the middle of football season?
This is overlap season for me, Charlotte. So we've got football. Now we've got basketball. I did a basketball game last night in Miami, Florida. I am in a stretch of 5 games in 7 days for ESPN, but it does not stop me from joining you on Tuesday night. And also shout out on Veterans Day. My dad was in the Navy, so happy Veterans Day to Dad and everybody who wore the uniform for this great country. So awesome shout out there, Charlotte. And I'm fired up to talk lacrosse, even though I've got football and basketball going through my head. I'm not kidding, Charlotte. When I'm on these plane rides that are now delayed and canceled, I find myself thinking about gosh, the ACC is going to be crazy this spring, and how's the WLL Championship Series going to look? So I love it. I'm addicted to it, and this is the best outlet for it on a Tuesday night. And we've got a great guest. I think maybe the breakout program of the last 2 seasons, kind of back where they belong, the Virginia Cavaliers and Sonia LaMonica. And let's welcome in Coach right now.
All right, we're welcoming in UVA's head coach, Sonia LaMonica, coming off an awesome season a year ago with the Cavaliers. She's in her 3rd season now as head coach of this program. Coach, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
I'm so excited to be here. This is fun, you guys. Really good to take a step away from, all the stuff that we're doing behind the scenes and building the programs and chat some LAX.
I love it. I love it. You've done an unbelievable job in your time so far, but you're coming off of fall ball. I assume you guys are, in the month of November. I'm sure you've learned a lot about your team this year. Every year is different. Mm-hmm. How has it been? How have practices been? How have scrimmages been?
Yeah. We were fortunate to get a couple of, full-length games. We saw Penn State and JMU earlier. And then we had a couple of play days as well. So we definitely got a chance to get out on the field, to build the chemistry, to really get our first years, we call them first years here.
Yes.
Charlotte, you're aware of that. But yes, I love that. So we just getting them acclimated, right? I mean, everybody who remembers being an athlete in college, that first year, a lot of us, choose to kind of maybe forget because it's so hard. It's so hard, you're adjusting so much, but, we've just got such an incredible group. I mean, they truly, they do such an amazing job of really welcoming in our newcomers. And I think that's just one of the things I feel so fortunate is that I can lean on them to really help those first years navigate all the challenges that come along, because there is a lot. You're away from home. Typically, people are a little homesick. You're juggling, some academics and those challenges, and everything's new. Lacrosse is new. It's faster. I mean, it's always kind of fun to see the big eyes of those guys when they come in. But I will say I was really impressed with our first years. I thought they came in, they competed hard. They didn't seem like they were too worried about, not being true to themselves, which is easy to do. Mm-hmm. So I think that just speaks again to the culture that our returners and our upperclassmen, to allow those young players to sort of find themselves with confidence. So yeah, that's been really good. I mean, on the field, look, some mixed results this fall, but I'm a pretty patient person. Probably I'm heavily competitive, as we all are. You guys are as well. But I would say I am pretty patient. I do keep things in relatively good perspective, I think, through the fall. And as long as we're seeing progress and we're building, like we're moving in the right direction. So I think good things take time and just trusting the process. And so, yeah, plenty to work on and build on. We're certainly not ready to step on the field yet in spring, but I'm confident that we're going to get there.
Well, we've still got some time before the games count for real, so that's
Thankfully.
good. You talk about your first years, and my observation for what you've meant to Virginia is you bring in a ton of talent as freshmen, and then you develop that talent. And I think year one, that's really what defined your program, is all the first years having so much success. Now that class is upperclassmen, juniors, right? And they're laying that foundation. And like you said, trying to get that next class up to speed and the standard. Do you feel like now that first year class or juniors, and this is year 3, this could be the breakthrough year for Virginia to get you back to the championship weekends and competing for trophies?
I do, Jay. Like I do, because obviously you've got a class now that have entered into kind of upperclassmen realm. So naturally come up short last 2 years, getting knocked out in the second round. So, I think there is that additional fire for that young group now stepping into the role of, and there's a burden that comes with being leaders, right? I mean, you've got to be walking the talk. You've got to be strong in hard moments. You've got to handle pressure well. And I think that group, particularly the juniors who have a lot of that playing experience, they're honing those skills right now. And as a coaching staff, we've really been challenging our entire team actually to just again, you can't lean on your coaches for every answer. You guys need to put your coach's hat on too. Because as much as I'd love to be out in the field in the game with you, I can't and I'm not. And I really want to empower them to be confident in themselves, to trust their decisions and, to be ready to step up and make plays. And I think, that's part of the gap that we need to close if we want to talk about, championship weekend and being in contention for that. But we also need to just be better at some of the little things, ground balls. We've got to be better at ground balls. We go back and look at statistics. You can look at the top 2 teams in the country last year, Northwestern and UNC, obviously, and they far outdid us on ground balls. And obviously ground balls lead to extra possessions, and extra possessions is key. So, there's definitely some things that we've just got to do a better job of. And I think stepping up in the big moments. So I think that's the difference between we've got a great team, but in order to be elite, we need to be great in the hard moments, the pressure moments, and that'll be the difference.
I love that. Nothing better than some ground ball drills at practice. Those are always fun. Always fun. It's like a war zone out there when you let everybody go after the ground balls. But you mentioned the juniors, 3 of them, Kate Gallica, Jenna DiNardo, Madison Alimo. I think they're some of the best players in the country right now at the collegiate level. How have you seen them kind of develop over their time? And, the on the field stuff, of course, but also, as individual leaders. Yeah,
I think that's a key thing that we've been challenging them with in different ways. And listen, leadership, I think leadership can come from anywhere. And I think anyone can hone those skills and develop those skills. I don't believe in there's just, you're either a natural leader or not. I do think leadership, it comes down to what does the situation call for? And there's different leadership skills that are needed in different moments. So, I think, we spent a little bit of time through the second part of this fall as we started to understand and recognize this is an area we've really got to challenge this group to step up in, is, developing that skill set and them as a team, coming together and them deciding what do they want to accomplish this year and what do they think they need in order to do it. They need to come to some of these things on their own. And I think, those individuals you spoke of, Jenna and Kate, I think in particular have really stepped up. Jenna's a SAC rep for us here at UVA as well. So, she's involved. She's a leader in that way where she will be a voice for her teammates, her fellow teammates. And I think it's just her continuing to harness that and just in these last few weeks, those guys really stepped up when we challenged the entire group. But I mean, we're challenging our first years as well. Like, if something is burning inside of you, to say to the team, it's burning, that you should probably say it, right?
Mhm.
If it's something you think, like, I'm supposed to say this, yeah, you maybe not. But like, if it's something that you truly trust and know in yourself, you've got a group around you who's going to listen and who's going to hear and wants to invite that. So those are some of the things. And yes, those individuals you mentioned, for sure. And I do think just different personalities bring out different, those are the natural things. You don't want to be too far outside of yourself. You want to be true to yourself and really lead from your heart. So however that looks, to really just continue to enhance it and bring it out.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about the Harrison Family Olympic Sports Center that opened in September. Just a beautiful facility. The next time I'm in Charlottesville, you got to give me a tour because it looks fantastic.
I would love to give you a tour.
I know it's just been a couple of months, but how have you seen kind of the impact? Everyone talks about facilities and resources. This is a shared space with the other Olympic sports in Virginia. It really feels like when you look at it across the nation, very unique and elite setup for your program.
Yeah, I think so too. I love being around other athletes. I think there's something special about being integrated around other athletes. There's a community, and I think we're starting to feel that more and more right now with the intermingling. But yeah, just our footprint in general. I can tell you the last 2 years, and I came to UVA knowing this was in the works. So I only had to wait 2.5 years to sort of see this all come to fruition and be moving in. But certainly plenty of others here have been waiting a long time. And to just be here for the unveiling and the ribbon cutting and seeing the faces, the looks on, our young women's faces when they walked in to their new locker room, to the team lounge, the big film space that we've got now, the weight room that's like massive. It's got all custom Rogue weight equipment in there. I mean, the footprint, the day-to-day operations, how we're moving, how we're getting from space to space is just really enhanced. So that in itself, when these guys prior had been, having to make sure they added 15 minutes into everything they're doing to get from place to place, and now they're getting out of the building and getting to class faster. So, those things are just going to allow them to be more efficient. It's an incredible facility. We're so grateful. And, we just got to remember our roots. I got to remember kind of where they were, because there's something humbling about that too. And we don't want to lose that. And remembering that a lot of people worked really, really hard to make this happen. And we want to make sure we remain sort of really grateful for it each and every day.
I love that. People underestimate how much it can affect your performance when you have resources like that. I mean, you're seeing a lot of different programs around the country, not just in women's lacrosse, but in all of college sports, be impacted by these incredible influx of resources for these athletes. And it's so well deserved, because these athletes are working pretty much 2 full-time jobs as students and as athletes. So it's incredible to see. How have you seen kind of the impact of NIL in this landscape that everyone keeps talking about? How have you seen that impact, our sport on the whole?
Yeah, I think it's still there's a lot to understand. There's a lot to kind of see what shakes out. Do I agree with, the rev share piece? I think it's interesting. I think these athletes, they are worthy, and it's great to see kind of the growth and the opportunities. But I also, it's just interesting. I think there's something to coming and earning things, right? There's something to coming and earning things when you get somewhere. Remembering that, we get to do this. And yeah, it's certainly everybody's kind of navigating in this ocean right now, and you don't really know what's going on under the surface. We're all kind of out here, but what's actually going on is hard to say. I think I feel very fortunate to be at an institution that, has a lot to offer, right? That can offer a world-class education, that has a lot of high performing Olympic sports that you get to be immersed in, that you get to live in a place like Charlottesville, and the weather and the things that you can get into outside of, your sport. So there's just so many things that make this institution really unique and special to compete in the ACC, that, certainly I think the right people will understand that. And, to me, that makes sense that, we're attracting the right people to this institution. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, and time will tell. I'm big on culture, I'm big on culture. I'm interested to see how, some schools with way more scholarships than we have, how does that play out? What does that look like down the line? And we don't know yet, but it's going to be interesting to see,
Yeah, no, I mean, I know that you can't come out and kind of say it fully, so I'll try and say it for you. I do think there's an element of it, and this is what you're getting at, is you don't just want to go shopping. You don't just want to get a bunch of players that are there for whoever's going to give the most scholarship money or the most NIL money, because I think where you've had success, like we talked about, is those first years that came in just looking to prove something. And developing that talent and fostering that talent. And I do fear that, in this sport, you could have the elite teams that might have the NIL dollars just go shopping every year. And I do feel like that could negatively affect the sport. So I don't know if that's kind of fair to put out there, but.
Yeah, no, I think it is fair. I think, again, time will tell. But I think, we're looking for recruits that ultimately have a love affair with lacrosse and with Virginia, and just that they want to be a part of something greater than themselves. And it's not to say that we don't give out full ride offers or anything of that nature. I mean, we're here to compete. But I think we're also looking at the big picture in the long term. So I'm just trying to find the balance, the appropriate balance there. And as well as the stability, we got an incredible gift from a women's alumni, that went to our scholarship endowment. And because it went to our scholarship endowment, we saw a 50% university match. So right there, that's going into kind of the bigger picture of this program being sustained in the long run, because we don't want lacrosse to go anywhere. We want women's lacrosse to thrive in this next arena, and, Charlotte's helping with that in the pro leagues, keeping people engaged and excited about the sport. So that's all good stuff.
Yeah, we got to have some future who's in the pro league soon.
Who's in there? Well, we got Katie Glenn kind of on staff. So, she lives, eats, breathes lacrosse. She'll play as long as she possibly can. So I love that she can kind of hopefully stay engaged in that. I think it's great for our program. It's great for our players, and it's great for the sport. So.
Love it. Yeah. I mean, Katie Glenn, you mentioned her. You guys brought her on staff this year. What a great addition to your already phenomenal coaching staff. I got a question about that, actually. What's it like coaching with your husband? For those of you who don't know, her husband is on staff as an unbelievable coach as well. But what's that like?
Yeah, it's a good question. I get asked this a lot. And a lot of people are like, I could never do that. I think, obviously, it helps. We both played the game at a high level. The game is what brought us together. So we have that love affair with lacrosse. We both have it. And yeah, I mean, I think some days can be challenging and hard, but I think we both do a really good job of trying to keep it balanced. It helps that we love the sport and we have this passion together. And so certainly there's lots of lacrosse conversations going on outside of, the office, but I'm sure that's happening anyway at a lot of other programs as well.
Love it.
I mean, yeah, but it's funny. We'll make fun of each other a little bit. The girls will kind of look at me and smirk when, I make a comment because, Mike's doing something. I'm like, okay. And they just laugh. So, it is fun. I think, we're parents. We have 3 kids. And so, it certainly helped me learn being a parent and a coach, and just being more well-rounded in my role, as opposed to, coming right out of college so focused on working to cultivate that lacrosse experience that I had. And then it just gets richer and richer over time with, more years of experience, and certainly having your own kids, and trying to help these young women to thrive and own their power and go out and kick ass in the world.
Well, obviously it works, because the two of you have had a tremendous track record, and you've brought that to Virginia. And Charlotte and I were joking before you jumped on, and I do think obviously it has to work, right? Like you can't just be like, oh yeah, my significant other is going to be on staff, and have it not work, because that would be a disaster, both personally and professionally. So the fact that you've been able to make it, I would love to work with my wife, but the problem is she would fire me in 20 minutes.
I have tried Mike a few times actually, but he just keeps showing up. But no, I mean, it's it's a journey. And I will say, like, that's important. We've sat back at many different junctures to be like, is this right now? Is this what's best for our family? Is this what's best for the program we're in? Whether Mike's initiated that, whether I've initiated that, it's interesting. We always end up kind of coming back to where we are right now. So to your point, Jay, I mean, I think we believe it works. And I think we both have immense gratitude for what we get to do every day. I mean, there is nothing like coaching, and you interact with, maybe friends, former teammates, and things that they're doing, and you see people out in the world, and, there's lots of good and lots of amazing career choices. But to be honest, where I am and the experiences I had, I wouldn't change any of this. It hasn't been easy, but it's been so rewarding. I know people say it all the time. I think it keeps you young, at least up here. Team keeps you kind of somewhat trendy. I don't know, at least understanding what the latest kind of trends are. But no, I mean, we lift with the team. Which, we love to do that. I think our team likes it too. It's just
that's awesome. You go, girl.
Well, it's a chance to interact with your players in a different space, which I think is cool. Like, and there's some players, maybe they aren't your like best players on the field, but they kick ass in the weight room. And I think it's important to see that and to cultivate that and to have pride in that. So it's fun just to kind of be immersed with them in that space as well. And for them to just see us getting our asses kicked in the weight room too is good, right? Like we're in this pain with you, we're in it with you.
That's awesome. Charlotte, we're going to have to we're going to get a tour of this facility, and we're going to do a work with.
Yeah, let's do a workout together. Yeah. Maybe a game day this spring that if we are lucky enough to be in Charlottesville with the crew, that would be
absolutely. Our whole staff does. Shanna, Katie, I mean, Celia, our director of ops, we're all in the weight room with the team. It's awesome. I
love it.
Too. Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow. I love your energy. I love what you are doing with the program. I love the impact that you've had, on so many lives in the lacrosse world. It's just so cool to see. We're lucky enough to be able to call some of your games and get to chat with you. And thank you again for taking time today. I know you're busy. People think it's, the off season or, maybe things aren't as busy as they would be in the spring, but you have so much going on. So we can't thank you enough for taking time today.
Well, I could say the same for you, Charlotte, and what you're doing for the sport. And it's been fun to watch your journey, and just it's awesome. So keep doing what you're doing too.
Thank you. It means a lot. It means a lot.
Jay, you're killing it as well,
mate. No, I'm nothing compared to you guys. So thank you for the time, Coach.
In the women's lacrosse space. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much.
No,
we'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
What an unbelievable conversation with UVA's head coach, Sonia LaMonica. Thank you to Coach LaMonica for joining us. And thank you, Jay. Thank you, Lacrosse Down Lacrosse Rundown community for this awesome conversation and for engaging with our guests always. It means a lot to bring these special guests to you guys, bring the conversation to you guys, and have you be a part of it, because you're just as much a part of it as we are right here on the show. And we feel that each and every time we hop on here with you guys. So we thank you. We've got a special giveaway going on my Instagram account. For the next 2 weeks, you can go and enter in this giveaway. There's a lot being given out in this giveaway, but I won't reveal too much here. But head to my Instagram, Charlotte North 8. If you guys are current subscribers of the YouTube channel, you've already checked one of the items off the box to enter yourself in the giveaway. So go ahead and check that out. But for you guys as members of this community, drop a comment or a question that you guys have for us if you want to be featured on our show. And as always, we want to have this conversation with you guys. We want to hear what you want to hear from us. And Jay, we have some fun stuff coming up next week.
We do. We're going to try and keep the off-season conversations going, and we've got a week loaded with lacrosse. We're both going to be down in Florida, you playing, which is what you do best, me talking, which is what I do best. And really looking forward to kind of what I think has been a great off season. But if there's anything we haven't covered that you guys want us to do a deep dive on, because 2026 is going to be here before we know it, and then we're going to be talking wall-to-wall games.
Oh, yeah.
So if there's something that you want us to cover or a conversation you want us to have, like Charlotte said, subscribe, drop a comment, because look, we're here for you. And we want to make sure that we're having the conversations that matter most to you guys. And the coaches have been phenomenal, Charlotte. But maybe we'll have a couple non-coach guests as we ramp up for the brand new season.
Absolutely. It'll be here before we know it. It feels like it's inching closer, and I can't believe it. I can't wait to go through this journey with you guys. So we appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week.